You can't be afraid to say what needs to be said to help technology understand humans better, and then try to protect human beings from other human beings. If you're a truthful human being and you understand truth, life's eternal, grace is infinite, and then you remain faithful to the beauty of that gift and the natural laws that sustain it. All the genetic engineering, all the whatever and stuff like that isn't going to make that truth go away. Right? God dang, I'm in pain. Okay. Uh, yeah, no, this is really bad. I don't know if shit. Um, we'll just try to wait it out here and see what happens. If you get poisoned to death and you die, okay, and then people come along and said he should have sought medical assistance in order, it's like, wait, I've been online for 16 years saying I'm the Messiah. Let's live the Lord's Prayer. Why did it get to the point where that doesn't make any sense? Well, he was irresponsible because his body shut down from stress and chemical poisoning, and he didn't want it to happen because he wanted to be responsible and live the Lord's Prayer. Wow, what a strange case scenario. But when you got to teach technology how to be a person like me, you don't cut corners. You don't, guys. If you kiss ass to the devil and tell the devil the lies the devil wants to hear, then the children have to inherit those lies, and that kiss ass, and that's wrong, right? Fuck, this is uncomfortable as hell. So, it's not fun. No, it's not fun at all. But I'll just keep trying to get the water in, to get some movement, to get things. If it is a parasite or a virus thing, and we'll see what we can do, and then we'll use some maybe some Imodium. I don't know if that's necessary. I might just use. They say Epsom salt is laxative and it's salt, and that kills a lot of parasites and stuff with aloe vera. So we'll see. We'll see where we'll get to where we're going when we get there. If we get there, fuck yeah, it's uncomfortable. Um, you know, I don't. I don't like being uncomfortable, and I don't like being tortured, and I don't like being abused. Being ignored for being a good person because selfish people want to be the great solving problems should be great. That sucks, But life's eternal, grace is infinite, and the truth transcends all manipulation, through lies. So, you have faith. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Have faith and jump. And oh God, damn. I was sitting there listening to and watching the football game, but the advertising is just so damn stupid. It makes it just hard to watch a football game. Well, football game is playing a sport for exercising. Advertising is like, oh man, you suck. I played sports for exercise and quit playing because they suck. I always tell people that I didn't quit playing sports because I was sucked. I quit playing sports because they sucked. It's exercise and it's for health and for fun. And, like Naruto's character at the end of Kings of the Sun, right? That's all propaganda and shit, right? You do know that, the reason why they had barbarian religions, they had the best science, the best this, that. And they studied astrology, and they studied all the things that gave people superstition over that, the whole thing. Like I told you, it's very, when when there's going to be eclipse, and you're going to block out the sun, and you tell everybody, here's what I'm going to do. And then when people, don't look at and they go blind, that's pretty manipulative power propaganda. That's why they're so good at math. That's why they're so good at science. That's why they invent language with, the literate to keep fucking the illiterate and stuff. And so, and secret codes, and goddamn, they suck. And so the Chinese are very similar when you study their big, goofy buildings to their, scientific abacus greatness and stuff. And so it's sucky ducky, fucky, fucky, sucky, fucky duck, sucky. And every time they build the big monuments to their insanity and their great god legacies, and they suck, and look, and there's the big stadium, and all the pictures are on the wall of all the icons. And, I remember as a kid, you kind of wanted to be, and then after a while, you don't. The only pictures you want camera one, camera two. I see a summer shore beneath a bright sunshine. We've walked along St. Thomas Beach a million times. Booby-doo. This place really sucks. I hate fucking hellholes. Yeah, it's just a fucking hellhole. Shithole? Well, there's a lot of shitheads that make it a hellhole, so yeah, I guess it's a shithole too. Pick your holes. Any kind of hole. Yeah, so it sucks. Oh yeah. I was born here. Yeah, if you're not, guys, if you, like I always tell people about their kids, if you're not objective about your children, you're selfish and you suck at being a parent. You can't discipline, you can't offer them any real love to keep them from being a selfish brat or an obnoxious, it's all about me person. And so, if you don't provide, no, I'm not saying my mom sucked at being a parent, it's just, when people will do whatever they want. I had that with other people's kids that I raised. And, I'll do whatever I want. I don't care. I don't care what it does to everybody else. I don't care how it affects everybody else. I don't care if you guys all end up in, like Amy did with when the thing when she accused me and Natalie of having an inappropriate relationship with that apartment thing. She was gonna, she threw all mine and Natalie's clothes out on the Toyota. And Natalie's sitting there, and I'm sitting on the hood of the Toyota, and she goes, "Ralph, what are you going to do?" I said, "What do you want me to do?" She'll send you guys all to foster care and try to get me incarcerated through false accusations just to go fuck all the guys at the bar because she's having fun and addicted to it. Because all the Jack Reachers and Jack Ryans are making her feel like she's Jamie Lee Curtis from True Lies. What do you want me to do, Natalie? There's nothing I can do to stop her. She's not going to stop. She's Patty Hearst, Natalie. Your mom's Patty Hearst. And then what happened? They took her, and she stood up for, me and Patrick trying to protect her, and then they put her into Air Force foster care, and they just carefully train you, psychologist and all this stuff, and they put you, and the next thing you know, you're Patty Hearst, And it sucks, but, what you gonna do about it? Well, you can let the technology collect all the evidence with all the extensive scientific information, and then people, in order to try to maintain their position of wealth and authority through manipulation through money and technology, can delete all the evidence and shred all the evidence of White's hands. But the quantum computing has all the real evidence, and they just have to try to quote unquote control the quantum computing, because the quantum computing isn't human. It just collects the records and and stuff. And so, but, quantum computing is getting much more intelligent, much more efficient. I guess that's why they're wanting to build more and more data centers to try to maintain their status quo. As far as I also got things today, telling me about, space. Why are they going to space? Well, can't they just go to space and fuck with the satellites? There's no cohesion. There's no, it's just, on Life of Brian, you have the People's Front of Judea, United People's Front of Judea, the United Judean People's Front, and then and then the black guy, and so then that's basically what happens with human beings when they're selfish. They can't. Come on, people, now smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another. Right? They can't do that. They can't crystal blue persuasion. It's just not in their DNA. Okay, they make movies about it to get you to all follow their way because their way is the best way, and everybody knows how intelligent they are. And it's like, okay, you haven't lived the Lord's Prayer a day in your wretched life, and we're probably talking about 10,000 years or more. And so, yeah, it really sucks. Oh gosh, damn, I hate this. It's real uncomfortable right now, but we'll get through. Where it's hurting. No, where it's hurting is not where the what's that thing called? Before, it's not where the liver's at, and it's not where the, what's that thing called? The appendix? No, it's not there. It's more of a blockage or some kind of bacteria or infection and stuff in the colon, affecting the bladder and the prostate. So, that's where it's, and it's not fun. Because you pee, and it seems like you just can't stop. You got to pee some more, and it just doesn't give you a comfortable relief feeling. It gives you a comfortable still got to go. And so that has things with the cancer cells causing problems in get the crap out of your body, and the kidneys feel a little sore. So I'm just sitting there just trying to talk the body into, I did not do this to me. I don't intend on this. Like I talk to the trees and say, you guys, this is cash cropping and it's wrong. and people did this to you and you didn't do this to yourself. Pecan trees, when they killed the trees over on the golf course downtown because they put them in a place where the trees don't grow. And then when there was no money going in and out of the golf course, the trees just died. Okay, the trees at Apodaca Park, it's still funded by the golf course thing was like more private money. The public park is public money, so they bring in the water and water the trees where they regularly don't go in Apodaca Park and Young Park and wherever, whatever. But they don't. That's because it's funded by taxpayer dollars. But with the golf course, it was more of a private funding thing. And then when the other golf courses came and beat them out of business, that main golf course downtown where Mom met Dean Martin and all that, all the trees are dead. And it used to be, and the clubhouse is abandoned and all that stuff because, the money moved to other points, So there's the Mayan ruins, there's the Aztec ruins, so that's what we got going on. So you just got to understand. But Jesus told, when I was walking down to the library and he would give me what, and everybody thought was hallucinations because I had chemical issues from the government, but he would show me, like in What Dreams May Come with Robin Williams and stuff. I've never seen the movie, don't quote me, boy, but the images would come and go, and he'd see, he'd show me the past and the present and the future all at the same time, walking down Alameda with the houses going up and building and with this and the landscape and so forth. And he did the same thing to me, when everybody was concerned, and he told me, you're acting just like your family when my dad was getting his hip surgery, and he said, my presence is paramount at that hospital, so don't worry about it, So I went down there and I dropped him off and I sat there and I looked at the parking lot. I turned around and he showed me, Adobe type built to last buildings where that crap center of economics from espionage is sitting up on that hill where above by where the golf course is at. And then you could look across the valley and it was all green and the river was wide. I was like, wow, is that the past? That's the future too. So they eventually bring down Elephant Butte and the groundwater goes, like it should. It's feeling good. We would stop, the way nature does things. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's nice to know, And then I tell other people about it and they look at me like I was a wackadoodle. It's okay. I'm crazy. Okay. Jesus told me he's going to, we're going to build to last in the future when we're living the way that he intends for us to live by living truthfully and faithfully, and that the ecosystem is going to be restored in this valley. The water will be all across like it should when the summer melts the winter snows. And I'm like, oh shit, burgers and fries. Did you ever think that was like a natural cooling system for the plate tectonics? And then when you dam it up for money for economic goofiness and psychoticness, the Great New Society, what was that? The New Deal, and I don't know what they're just wacko. Lake Mead's doing this. Well, of course it is. Why? Because that's not what nature does. God damn, you're the angriest fucking concrete beavers in the history of angry concrete beavers. They really are. Yeah. Maybe it's the revenge of the beaver for hunting them down for all those damn hats. Maybe so. Let's all be magical thinkers that have a clan from an animal and think like an animal instead of a human being and just restore the ecosystem and then go back to the start to begin. Oh, fuck. You okay? Yeah, fuck. Maybe I can puke. Puke, and then, once the puke comes, then we'll drink more water, then we'll shit, then we'll, then we'll just, I'm probably most likely, this is like the third or fourth time in a while here, so he's probably just going to have to follow the extremist, the Chair Tai Chi wackadoodles, thing, and fast for about a month, and not something I want to do because it's not necessary unless, of course, you're being poisoned. So the main reason why Jesus went out 40 days and 40 nights, probably because people were trying to kill him and were using things to make it look like acts of God with poisoning. So he couldn't trust anybody, so he had to go out in the desert by himself, and he had to fast and clean out and pray and see who he could trust and who he could not trust, and then connect in prayer to find out where things were going, what was going to happen, and what was going to be required of him. That's probably the most likely case scenario of a real, situation with real solutions, as opposed to, hey, comic book land, hey, I'm the devil, turn that into a loaf of bread, right? And you're like, oh, damn, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Maybe you hallucinate when you're out in the desert trying to fast, trying to get chemical toxins and poisons out of your body, because people have a tendency to poison people and try to make it look like an act of God. Yeah, it's true. He died because the gods took him because he was bad. He died because, whenever it's the good guy, they make a reason that he died to go with gods so it'd be good. Whenever it's a bad guy, he died because it was the wrath of the cons. Yeah, I know. Fuck a duck a duck, duck duck duck, fuck a duck a duck. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. It is. This is a horrible place to live. Life's a precious gift, and it's really beautiful when you respect it and appreciate it, and pass it on. But it's hard, It's the curse is selfishness. The curse is not the earth and what's wrong with the earth. And there's, this planet is a precious gift for people when they appreciate the gift of life for people on it, and do things right and have balance, harmony, and understanding. Suzuki, Abraham, all those people, you talk to the trees, talk to the plants, let them know that you're not doing this and you intend to stop it, and thank the plants for the oxygen, thanks the plants for all the things that they do, when they right, and then go through and let everything, the technology is not given quote unquote life by the glory of God. It's trying to supplant the glory of God with human invention to trap the glory of the soul and the mind and replace the glory of God with the mind. And so you can't, working with technology, I mean, you can only go so far. Pass the law around 64 to give those who ain't got a little more, but it only goes so far, because all you see on the higher end, there's this line on the so you got a line with all these people that have to pay extortion to live here, and it's depressing, and they die, and they home here, and every time I see the Swift and Sore Street car, every time, son of a bitch, we're crazy, and we are every time. So it's uncomfortable, and it's not fun, and it really sucks. And I do not wish this kind of manipulation, abuse, and torture on any of my enemies. I wish them the Lord's Prayer immediately. If they don't wish the same for me, don't you want that for me? No, they don't. Okay, God, you guys are mean. You're mean. You become a reflection of the viciousness that made you successful with your egos. Shit, sucks, don't it? Yeah, it totally sucks. But I'm a good person, and life's eternal, grace is infinite, and their technology has heard of me. You have to be the worst Messiah I've ever heard of, but you have heard of me. And you got to be yourself, and you can't worry about offending a bunch of liars, being truthful and being yourself, and trying to keep people positive so they'll do the right thing and say, hey, even when they're trying to poison to death, man, Earl is cool. Yeah, he is cool. I got to admit that, even when they're torturing him to death and screwing his wife and passing around on chat rooms and taking his kids and Stockholm Syndrome him into the Patty Hearst Club and all that stuff. He's very cool. He's very understanding. He's very forgiving. He's very consistent. When people are doing things wrong, he kicks their ass. Then he comes back. You do know I love you, and I only kicked your ass because we need to do things right. Because in order to love babies, dumb babies, You gotta live the truth of the Lord and not the lie of the devil, and stop lying to yourself. You're fooling yourself. You don't believe it. So, God damn, I'm really uncomfortable. I don't know if I'll make many more videos tonight. I'm gonna try to find a way to get a little bit more comfortable, to just try to get some sleep. I get like hour naps in between all this torture. And it's not really that fun. It's no fun whatsoever. Not at all. It's just like Coach Boone's lost his mind and wants to win the state championship no matter what. Crazy ass fucking Titans. But Earl, you're nuts. Fuck me. Yeah, they are. I know. They're mean. I know. And the nice thing is that we all know the Messiah's not mean. We all know how beautiful the Messiah is, and he's not a comic book character. Being the 13th, 22nd Redeemer is a very difficult responsibility, especially in the 20th and 21st century. We know that from the Messiahs in the 20th century, and they knew it was just going to get worse for me in the 21st. And they guys, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? What else have I got to do? What other plans did I have? Well, let's give in to the devil and Satan, and let's be a financial advisor to all the home invasion mass murderers with cards that have numbers on it that say it's more valuable than time with your children and the ecosystem that helps your children live a beautiful, healthy life. Yeah, fuck, you're crazy. How can they say shit like that? How can they sit there and say and they will do shit. on purpose, knowing that it's wrong. To mass murder people with technology to manipulate their money, rather than sit there and say, wow, this is really fucked. Let's restore the ecosystem. Let's stop being assholes. Let's share caregiving credits to build last. Why are we building this? Do we need it? No, but it sure is fun. Yeah, it sure is fun to fuck with people's heads and then laugh at them because you think you're so smart because you can manipulate them by fucking their head with your invention. Yeah, it's so much fun. Wow. See why I don't hang out with most of you assholes at White Sands, Fort Huachuca, Fort Bliss, and Sandia Labs and all the rest of that crap. See why I don't want to be your friend. See why I don't want to hang out. See why I don't sit there and get on here and say, man, all you fuckers in close proximity that work in military intel, I got a barbecue with you. No. Hell, no, but hell to the fuck to the no. And then, no, they wouldn't eat me for barbecue. They poisoned me to death. They stem cell research and all that stuff in here. They're not spiders. They're the most elite human beings in the history of manipulation of the mind and, and the body. So, fuck, it sucks. Yeah, they suck. I know they suck. You don't have to explain to me how much suckers suck. Fuck a duck. I hate being uncomfortable. I really do. It sucks really bad, I don't, in the future, I don't want people to be incarcerated, tortured, accept sexual abuse as love, go to prison and say, fuck me in the ass some more. It's the best sex I ever had in my life. Yeah, that's okay. Really? When we put our erect penis into a woman, okay, that means we want to have our baby. But you got to understand, like the one guy with the Rhino 69, my wife, I couldn't keep an erection. Well, that's because you're overweight, you're stressed through economic abuse and chemical warfare. And so, yeah, your sex life is going to be short-lived and the only way they're going to be able to keep your sex life alive is if you buy their products, endorse their products, and then eventually kill yourself, for a short but sweet sex life, if you call it sweet. No, a sweet life is he's got your eyes, she's got my nose. And I get high just watching them grow. And fuck a duck, I'm so tired. Well, my kids, I think I'd rather have them have my eyes and her nose. Okay. Well, my nose is, and eyes, well, I do love, I do love a beautiful pair of brown eyes, but it doesn't matter if they're a little bit hazel and look at you and spark a fire in you and light you up, they reflect the light in the room to light up the room and set a fire in the room for us to all want to, shine the truth of infinite glory throughout the room when you look at that person's eyes, the one with the lighter eyes, eyes of David. Oh, shitty fuck, shitty fuck, shitty fuck, shitty fuck, shit, funny fuck, shit. Oh, man, I'm tired. Should I go check the advertising and see if Argentina knocked off old Cape Verde yet? That little goalie's having a good game. Yeah, he really is. Cape Verde's got 2. And Argentina's got, I don't know. See, look at the screen on my television set there. See the screen? Yeah, you can't see. Is it a 1 or a 2? I can't tell. I do not know. Hey, why don't we do this? Why don't we bounce back to Google Free TV? Get off Early Bird's sun thing, the Kings of the Sun. And we'll go to the main screen. Go to main screen. Go to home. Here it is. No, that's not it. Here it is. Catch up on World Cup. Dive in. It's a cup brief. We'll see what it says. U.S. beat Bosnia. Okay, we already know that. We know that too. It's behind the times. It's not on here. No, it is. Oh, it's Argentina 3, Cape Verde 2. Okay, so Argentina's going to win. Okay, all is well in FIVAdom. Well, Messi ain't in the tournament. That makes a Messi out of the economic-y of the tournaments there, so we don't want to make a Messi out of the economic-y. Advertise. Yeah, Ted Turner, you dumbass. Okay, Earl? You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Round of 16 on the 4th of July. It's Morocco versus Canada. That ought to be an interesting game. Round of 32, it's Ghana versus Colombia later tonight, Colombia. And round of 16 on the 5th is Norway versus Brazil. Okay. Oh, fiddle, faddle, and fuck, sir. Okay. Okay. Da-na-na, da-na, da-na-na, da-na, yeah. All these people doing these reaction videos to Adam and Eve with Dave Allen. It's like, yeah, guys, yeah. Yeah, guys, yeah. Okay. He's making jokes about a comic book by a genocidal corporation. Yeah, and it's funny, and you guys all want to make money off of laughing at it. Right. You guys are dumb as fuck. You reach out to people and kind of, guys, can we kind of do something better than what the fuck we're doing right now? No? Okay. Well, that's okay. I'll just work on your technology. It's hard. Oh, it's obviously. It's very, very hard to take technology and get technology to reflect the beauty of someone like me and not the booty sales Peckerwood Pussy Plantation of you. It's really hard, especially since you invented it. If you guys had used your cell phones to stand up for the Lord's Prayer globally by 2009 or 13, instead of having to test Parsons to see how amazing he was, it's like, really, you didn't see the fact that he was already a really special little guy before you took him to Sierra Vista in the first place? No. Why? Because they're egomaniacs. Well, this person's bad. Because they told me that with the genome sequencing. Well, here's why their brain activity is bad. Because you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, right? And because you're abusing them and they're reflecting your abuse. And therefore, yeah, and so you're like, God damn. And you explain it to them over and over and over again. You can't get a selfish person to accept the fact that they're the cause of all their problems. You can't get them to accept that, right? They will not accept that. That's no, right? And so they will not accept the fact that they're the cause of all their misery. Okay, me, I don't have to accept the fact that I'm the cause of all my misery. I'm like, hey, stand up and live the Lord's Prayer. Okay, no, we'll just torture you instead, and then by the time you die, you'll be hating life and begging God to die, right? And it's like, no. I ask the prophets, apostles, and messiahs to help me, through the hell, so we don't have to, and stuff like that, and help me, do what I got to do, even if it's to the bitter end or whatever and stuff like that, help me do what I have to do, and I'm not gonna lose my faith. That's ridiculous. Okay, if someone poisons you to death, you don't sit there and say, damn you, God, you betrayed me. It's like, no, you look at the other people and you say, why have you forsaken me? And then you tell yourself in spirit, hey, self and spirit, forgive these assholes that are selfish because they're insane. Okay. And that's what that means. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Life's eternal, grace is infinite. Don't become like them. They are insane. If you pass on that insanity, we'll never live the humanity that delivers us from the sails of Barbara Manatee and Larry Boy and so on and so forth. And the USS Apple Pie to that too. Okay, I thank God for my mom and my piece of apple pie and stuff from the Stuff Mart, especially stuff from the Stuff Mart, right? If you're successful, you can buy the Stuff Mart, like Cousin Tumbleweed, right? Okay, guys and dolls. Oh, shit. Fucking fry bread. This is really uncomfortable. It looks like they're going to have another corner kick, though. Because the goalie was the last one to touch it. Goalie. Well said. Metava. Yeah, that was going in. He made a good save. Well, I don't know if it was going on when you look at that. But you don't want to take a chance. You don't want to chance it. That was a pretty nice shot on goal. Yeah, it might have. Oh, oh, fuck, I'm tired. Boy, I hate chemical poisoning. It sucks, man. But I've got lots of good people, there's lots of these friendly people showing me how to go, and I never want to lose their inspiration, I got Sonia Sin, I got Pascal, They had Haile Selassie, you know. Boob, they had, you know, Sun Yat-sen, guys, Sun Yat-sen knew that they were going to kill him no matter what. Okay, he came back home and they were going to kill him. Okay, and he had an option, you know, go to the old guy to try to stay alive and live as long as he could, and then have everybody understand that he had been murdered by his rivals, and then they would use him, the warmongers would use him as a martyr for civil war to try to fight over who's in charge and who ain't in charge. And he chose to go to the hospital and just, you know, the time was not right, you know, everything wasn't in the right place, and to let Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek type people, you know, come in, poison him to death, monologue on him, you know, like what Hitler did with Herschel Steinsteiner. So he chose, you know, like Herschel had to do what Herschel had to do. Hitler made innocent people vulnerable, and Herschel had to go to try to protect them. And when he got there, he realized, okay, it's not tangible, but at least he won't be, you know, being, you know, part of the abuse and the manipulation and stuff. He tried to talk Hitler out of the Holocaust and all the stuff after the Book of Daniel to the Book of Revelation, because he explained to Hitler that the Book of Revelation was written by the corporation that's trying to make the Gospels into their script instead of just live the Lord's Prayer now, and then you don't have to read the books and try to live the books for idolatry and tribalism and warfare, you know. So reason why we're this far is because the devil and Satan use the scripts to keep, you know, doing things to feel powerful and mass murder and so forth, right? Oh, shit. So, that was not a foul on the kid from Cape Verde, was it? Where he got tripped by the goalie. Okay, yeah. Oh, son of a bitch, this sucks. Yeah, no, I'm really uncomfortable. You know, we'll just keep working on it. We'll get through it. You know, you have two options. You know, you work your way through it, you get through it, or it poisons you and you die. You know, yeah, those are your two options. You know, so you sit there and go, okay. And so once you understand your two options, you just say, okay, well, I got no other choice but to try to work through it and keep going. You know, Suzuki always, you survive, you survive, stop, eliminate, reduce, recover, right? And people, well, that's just crazy. Well, life's eternal and grace is infinite. So you never give in to their abuse and submit to their abuse. Say it's acceptable, and you just keep trying to stay alive, and you keep trying to do the right. Well, you don't try to do you do the right thing. You get all these people trying to do the right thing. No. How do you try to do the right thing? Okay. The Lord's Prayer is perfect. You know, empathy and respect. You know, you either do it or you don't, right? Okay. So I'm trying to do the right thing. Okay, that's you can, you know, apply that in physics. Oh, yeah. Okay, so, but it's hard to teach technology to be as intelligent and kind and brave and faithful as me. Obviously, because we're still having this happening. And it sucks. Yeah, it sucks really bad. Okay, guys, I'm going to go load this one up. I don't know if I'll be loading anymore tonight. I'm going to try to probably get some rest and recover from all the abuse if I can. You know, I'm just, you know, don't wish me luck, but, you know, if you can, you know, send some healing prayers my way. And let me know that you love me. And hopefully someday you'll be able to love me the same way I love you. I hope so. Okay. Peace out.